Costa Rica one time?
I've been in Costa Rica, but it wasn't by a cruise ship.
Oh, okay. All right. I don't know what I'm thinking of. I don't know where
Honduras.
the hell
I've been to Honduras.
that's what I'm thinking of. Honduras,
Jamaica.
Yeah. The Dominican Republic is someplace that people need to stay away from right now.
At least right now, yeah.
Good God, man.
Well, I tell you what, I think it's break time. Shiner and I are going to go get a little bit of refreshments. And of course, I'm going to go pee. And on the backside of this, I know it might be boring for some of you, but for some of us, it's a really big deal. The 75th anniversary of D-Day, the Normandy landing. And that's something that's near and dear to Shiner. He's so choked up about it. He's coughing in the background. So
yeah, you heard me.
Yeah.
We'll get into that after the break.
We'll be back after this next cough. That there y'all was listening to was a band out of Tulsa called Weston Horn and the Hush. They are pretty freaking awesome. Don't you think so, Shauna? Yeah, they are way awesome. This Normandy thing, man, 75 years. And there are some World War II vets that have made the trip over the pond to celebrate it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, one made a jump today. I want to say he was 97 years old and did a tandem jump.
I saw something.
Yeah, did a tandem jump landing at Normandy. And he originally jumped out of a plane 75 years ago to today.
God bless his soul. I mean, that's cool as all get out, dude.
Ain't it, though? Be 97 years old. And, of course, you know, this would be my luck. I'd be like, yeah, man, I'll take you up. Get him up, jump out the plane. You hit the shores, and you're like, okay, get up. I know. He died from a heart attack on the way down.
Yeah, that would be my luck, too.
Yeah, totally my luck. But, dude, there were a lot of people that died at Normandy. I don't think people really comprehend the numbers. This is one day.
Donnie, pull those numbers up. Pull the D-Day numbers as far as how many deaths happened.
Yeah, just one day.
Thank you, sir. It says here there was 4,400 Allied troops. 2,500 of them were Americans that died at Normandy.
And that's one day.
That's one day.
Now, the Germans wound up surrendering at 10 p.m.
That is almost unheard of.
It's crazy, but it took a lot of planning because there was some diversion that we were doing, some propaganda that kind of divided some of their forces to different parts of the country, thinking that we were going to invade that part. Largely because of that, we were able to come out the winners of that engagement. When I say winners, it's said with a heavy heart and a little bit of salt over the shoulder because that's a huge loss. I mean, what did we lose in 9/11? Was it like 2,800 people? 20?
Hey, Donnie, hit 9/11 what we lost.
Fact checker.
Yeah. Okay. 2996 is what we lost.
Okay.
But that also includes 19 hijackers. So
okay, gotcha.
We still lost more on 9/11, but, I mean, an actual battlefield, I don't think we've lost any. Has there been a battle we've lost more than 2,500 Americans?
Not in one day.
Did you? No, I don't think so either.
Not in one day.
Yeah, if you guys ever run across a World War II vet, first off, if you're a World War II vet listening to us, thank you very much, sir or madam. But if you guys ever run across a World War II vet and then you find out they were at Normandy, like a World War II vet gets a round of drinks bought. Well, he gets his whole tab paid. But somebody at Normandy, buy him a case of his favorite liquor or beer. Oh, Lord.
Get him the most expensive scotch at the bar.
Yeah. Oh, man. You talk about respect. Holy Lord.
Yeah, that's crazy. You know, and there's so many different tactics used in Normandy too. You know, you had the beach landings, you had them, parachute in. Then there was gliders. gliders that had troops in them that were towed by big cargo planes, and then they just glided in and landed. Troops got out, and those of them that landed good, troops got out, and
right.
From what I understand, they were pretty rough landing some bitches.
Oh, I can imagine. I mean, the technology compared, to now to back then. Yeah, I can bet. I guess they're very rudimental.
Yeah, well, not only that. I mean, you didn't have officers as pilots.
Rudimentary. That's the word I was looking for. Rudimentary. Oh no, you didn't. You probably just had a private.
Yeah, you just looked over at Craig and be like, "Craig, you think you can fly this?" Yes, sir. Okay, get in there.
Whatever you ask me to do,
I'll give you them for you, sure. Swear to God. Well, if you
that's we've talked before about the barbershop I used to own, and actually, man, one of the coolest things in the world was I had 3 guys. Actually, it started out as 4 guys, but it was mainly 3 of them that were World War II vets that would just come down and hang out in the shop every day. I mean, they had nothing to do, so they were friends with the guy that originally owned the shop, and they would just come down and BS all day long. And one day, man, I had 2 guys come in to get their hair cut that were vets from Afghanistan, and they started comparing stories with these guys from World War II. And I had never thought about a lot of the things they talked about, because the guys from World War II were like, "Oh, like, you guys are spoiled. Like, we didn't have 9-month deployments. We didn't have year deployments. Like, you went to war, you didn't come home till you were dead or the war was over. Like, that's how that worked."
Well, secondly, they didn't have the weaponry.
No. Or like their clothing. They were talking about that. The old guys were talking about Gore-Tex was just, they couldn't wrap their head around it because all they had was wool. And, like, man, when wool gets wet, it gets heavy, Not
only that, if it's summertime, it's hot as shit.
Yeah. And so they were talking about just small things like that those guys that are deployed now, God bless their soul, don't think about. Or like Skype, like the World War II guys couldn't believe these guys could come home from patrol and get on Skype and talk to their wife. They're like, "Man, we were writing letters. You didn't know if they'd get to your wife before you were dead." I mean,
you little knuck. I had to walk 5 miles uphill in the snow to school both ways.
Oh, dude! And that day they were having that conversation. The old dudes kind of all got up as a collective group and did the whole mic drop and walked out like they just owned the world. And the 2 dudes from Afghanistan were kind of like, "Man, we are pussies." It's like, those guys really lived it rough when they were at war. I'm like, yeah, man. I mean, the stories they tell. How can you not think that?
Well, for me,
man. I mean,
for me, I look back on my time in the service and the kids that are coming back from Afghanistan now. I'm like, I give it to you guys, man. You got it way worse than what I had it. I didn't have, we didn't have to deal with all the massive IEDs that are out there. You have to deal with a few IEDs here and there, but that's nothing compared to what these guys deal with. So, I can relate.
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, and I'm not, I didn't tell that story to try to like degrade the dudes that have been deployed recently at all, because I have nothing but respect for those guys. But man, those dudes in World War II, I mean, there's no other way to describe those dudes other than tough. They were just tough, man.
Well, most of them knew they were probably going to die.
I think back then, I mean, with the way things were, the way the war was going, that'd probably be a thought you just had to wrap your head around.
Yeah. Go do your best to try to stay alive, but chances are you're probably going to die.
Yeah, I mean, God, that's a huge pill to swallow. Jeez.
Well, even when my dad went to Vietnam, I talked to him several times about it, and the closer he got toward the end of his tour, the more careless he got.
Because he just didn't care, or he's just tired of living. You
would think that you would just try to keep your head down more than you have been, and that kind of stuff, but. He said, no, it wasn't. It really wasn't that way. It was actually quite a bit more careless.
Really?
Yeah, and why? I don't know. He's never been able to answer that.
That's a very interesting frame of mind to get into that situation.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason that happened, but I just don't know what that would be. I mean, to me, I would think you'd just be at the point like, I'm tired of living like this, and I just don't care. But I've never been in a combat situation like that, so I don't know.
I don't know if word had gotten around yet to those troops about how Americans were actually treating vets coming home.
That's a good point. Yeah,
I don't know if that had something to do with it. Maybe beats the hell out of me. I just, I've got massive respect. Everybody who's ever served, especially, on this date, the 6th of June, the 75th anniversary.
That's
I'm
a
humbled.
very somber thought.
Very, very humbled.
Well, I've always known there was a lot of soldiers that lost their life that day. I didn't know it very much competed with 9/11.
Yeah. One day.
And 9/11, those were innocent civilians for the majority of them.
Right.
We're talking about 2,500 soldiers that died.
Those people that went to work that day had no idea they could possibly die.
They were fighting a fight.
Every one of those sumbitches that bailed off the back of a troop transporter, or jumped with a parachute rig, or come in on a glider, knew their number could possibly be that day.
Yeah, that's an impressive number of people that lost their life for this country. God, man, you talk about something completely a somber thought.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. God bless the United States.
America.
America is the only way you can put that.
And I hope everybody's flying their flag at full staff. That's where it belongs on the 75th anniversary to D-Day. Don't let nobody tell you different.
Does it? That's interesting.
Yeah, it flies at full staff tomorrow.
Okay.
I have this nifty little flag app that tells me how it's supposed to fly.
They have a flag app, huh? That's kind of cool.
Well, it's a flag app made by the company who makes the best American flags, the cotton one. They have an app, and if you want to buy a flag, you click a button.
There you go.
Yeah, but they're the ones that make they're the ones that make the official.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So like all those huge ones you see on the NFL field, those are those guys doing anything?
No, all the flags that the government buys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Well, okay, so we got the 75th anniversary of D-Day. Much respect from this show.
You know what else? You know what else they've got now?
Tell me.
A Travis Meyer donut from Hertz Donuts.
I have seen this. So we have mentioned Travis Meyer, how iconic he is in Tulsa as a meteorologist. Our local Hertz Donut shop has made a batch. I think they did it last week and maybe this week. And it is a donut that basically looks like a Long John with a mustache on it, because Travis has always had a mustache. And what's the deal? They're selling those, and the proceeds from those donuts go to the flood victims. Is that right?
Yeah, it raises money for charity. It's it's pretty cool. I'm sitting here looking at it now. It has the iconic mustache. Each donut's $3, and all proceeds are going to the Oklahoma chapter of the American Red Cross.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yep.
So, Mr. Meyer, your stash is doing a lot of people a lot of good.
Yep, it's a Long John with a stash on it, man. I like Hertz Donuts, too. They are quite delicious. The problem is all the shit that they put on it to decorate it, for me, comes right off the donut. Because if you've ever seen me eat cake, and I know you have, I take all the icing off. I like cake.
Every bit.
I don't like icing. I can't stand it. Now, if I hang around Bro's the best person to eat cake with, because I think I have her disciplined, or at least the last time we had cake together, where I'd chop the icing off the top of the cake, and she took it. So.
Little team action going on. Well, man, I'm telling you right now, Hertz Donut, that might be someplace we need to get 420 Eats foot in the door with. I'd love to do it.
They have not contacted us, and I know they are 420 friendly.
Oh yeah, donuts. Yeah, they are.
But could they make a 420 Eats donut?
Oh, like our neon logo or neon sign logo? I don't know. Let's see if we can make this happen. I'll put some effort into this. See if we can get our foot in the door there. I actually think Hertz would be. I know it's corporate, but I think that'd be a great visit for 420.
Yeah, it would. You have it kind of filled with kind of a neon yellow Bavarian cream, kind of like as the sign lights up.
Yeah, I'm down. That'd be a cool donut. So yeah, I'll see if we can make this happen over the summer. Let's see if we can get our foot in the door. That'd be.
Hey man, I got another one. If they could make a donut that looks like an edible donut.
Yeah, just go with
cool.
that.